All video games are made of pixels. The lesser the pixels though, the more they show. If you like pixel art games, be sure you're not alone. They're often more realistic than half the 3D games that come out on a daily basis, and they're much more fun anyway. Today I'm going to be showing you the top 20 most amazing new pixel art games to pick up on your Android and iOS devices this July. Now, first of all, this has been a very long time coming. The good developers XD Games finally revealed the release date of August 1st for the one and only Sword of Convallaria. Probably the finest pixel art style, story-driven, free-to-play, tactical strategy RPG classic in the making right now. It offers both modern and classical elements like Final Fantasy Tactics and the recent Star Ocean Second Story R, which is a 2D 3D game. Accompanying this good news, developers actually released several trailers. The game is going to be coming out, like I said, and if you're wondering, it'll be an online game and will take you about 1.5 gigabytes of storage. Also, in case you're hearing baby chick voices, I found one and it just cries whenever I leave it, so it's just right next to me in the microphone. Anyway, coming in at number 2, we have Twilight Survivors. This is an online and offline roguelike survival game for Android and iOS, which happens to be the number 5 best-seller Nintendo Switch game and now available on mobiles for free. It simply fuses survival game elements with roguelites, whilst offering an intense gameplay with permadeath mechanics over 20 scales and a combination system that lets you create 20 different super weapons on your experience. This game's about 1 gigabyte in total. Speaking of single-player games, I mean, literally in this case, gems. Katana Zero got a mobile release last month and it's now sitting on both the Google and the Apple Store via the Netflix membership for free. It's already downloaded north of 100,000 times, which for all I know could be 500,000 already, and to my knowledge it's easily the number 1 pixel art action platformer you can play on your phone since its release. I personally had a blast with Katana Zero when it came out to PCs first. Now this time it actually hits even harder on the go. No bugs, it has a controller support, plays offline, and a brutal gameplay and unreal story. With almost 100,000 downloads on both the Google and the Apple Store since last month, Thunder Ray is playable with Crunchyroll membership, however it plays offline, no ads, no scam, all legit. This is a classic arcade boxing game, which was rated quite low upon release. It's now much higher because of the consistency of its developers. It's now sitting on both stores. It works with touchscreen controls as well as full support for game controllers. It plays offline and will take you about 1 gigabyte of storage. Coming in at number 5, we have Nightlancer. See, what you're watching over here is, I'm pretty sure you've guessed it, is actually a story-driven, free-to-play jousting sim game, and probably one of the prime examples of look around and find out. This game is legitimately impressive all around. There's no gacha elements, no microtransaction stuff, it's just pure fun physics-based battles and a good variety of stuff to unlock along the way. This game is unfortunately available on the Apple Store though, it's free, and also plays offline.
Has special abilities and sticks to the wall with his tongue?
Possibly the smoothest game you'll ever play, although it's only free in the first 2 chapters, the rest is a paid game. Super Mombo Quest is a precision-based action platform arcade Meroidvania adventure with a ton of collectibles and a huge world to explore before you reach the end of anything. Now, Super Mombo Quest gets simply a 20 out of 10 from me. Personally, I'd play it over any pixel art game I've ever played. The music, art, graphics, I don't know why it's even free in the first couple of chapters. Moving on to number 7, we have Midnight Girl. One of my favorite games in today's list, not an iOS exclusive by any means, I mean not anymore. It's an artistic minimalist style point and click platform adventure, which is now open for pre-registration on iOS and Android. PC actually $12 game, and the mobile version lets you play the first level for free, the rest is paid. If you're keen to the Annapurna Interactive's games, it's pretty much the same, halfway an emotional journey, another half something very creative. Now look guys, Cassette Beasts was promised to be coming out last month. It's now scheduled to be fully available worldwide in the next couple of weeks. I would say it's without a doubt one of the finest games that you can add to your list that is just thoroughly impressive all around. This game is a collectible monster RPG coming from publishers Royale, which is the same folks who brought Streets of Rage 4 on mobiles, offering a combination of Pokemon and classic role-playing games where you collect cassettes that turn yourself into monsters. Otherworld Three Kingdoms actually merges RPG elements with strategy gameplay and some roguelike stuff. This game is set against a backdrop of the ancient Chinese Three Kingdoms era, where you can recruit legendary heroes, forge alliances, and conquer vast territories in an expansive online experience. The download size of the game is about 700 in total. I'm sure you've also noticed. If not, Otherworld Three Kingdoms features historical events and characters from the Three Kingdoms period, and also most of you know as a Dynasty Warriors backdrop. Now, going back to the single-player stuff, we have Big Boy Boxing, coming to PCs, Android, and iOS in just a few months. This is an action boss rush indie game inspired by the classic Punch-Out and Cuphead games, 2- and 4-player co-op support on the same device. If you like, there's a demo to try on this one on both TapTap and Steam. Anyway, Big Boy Boxing is a speculated release of October 2024 on every single platform out there. It's basically Thunder Ray, the game we mentioned at number 3, I think, just a tad more expansive. With over 10,000 purchases and a hefty $8 price tag. Number 11 we have Skull the Hero Slayer. First of all, it's sitting on both the Google and the Apple Store, and it supports offline play too. Considering it's been in the making for a whole year into mobiles, this game is right now the number 10 most purchased action game of 2024 on the Google Play, and I do believe it's just as good as a PC version, except it's playable on the go too. Highly recommended if you like roguelike platformers. Hyper Light Drifter is now available on Android and iOS in a special edition for the price of $5. This is basically an enhanced version of the main game with a better frame rate, new weapons, new content too. Do apologize about the check noise. And for those of you who missed it, you see, Hyper Light Drift is a Souls-like action hack and slasher. It's in a non-linear, really challenging world with a super cool soundtrack. So wherever you come from, you're gonna feel right at home if you like pixel art classics. Sitting on the Google Play Store via the Netflix membership. If you do have one, go ahead and try the case of Golden Idol. I think it's a game for everybody. It's basically a point-and-click puzzle game that's rated a 5 out of 5 on both stores as of last week. Like I said, it's a classic point-and-click mystery puzzle investigation game offering almost an excellent narrative and probably one of the most engaging stories in today's list. Anyway, if you like mobile games to have a story, this is one of the better games you can try this week. For a little bit of the shift, let's just talk about the most downloaded game of the list. Not a new one by any means, but an actual 6-year-old mobile game and a 11-year-old PC game, which happens to be inspired by the Minecraft. It's a tactical battle royale shooter that's constantly getting updates ever since its release. That's over 100 different updates, and the last update came around a few days back. If you like classic first-person shooter, I don't know, games like Doom, with a modern voxel-based setting, Pixel Gun is exactly what you should try. Rated as the number 8, highest rated and most well-received turn-based RPG of 2024 so far, since last week. If you missed it, Caves of Lore is now on Android and iOS for the price of $9. It's an honorable mention over here. This game is possibly the most solid CRPG with real depth and a pretty good pixel art classic design to bring out nostalgia vibes. It's got a great story, some really good mechanics on top of over 20 hours of replay. A 20 out of 10, if not a 100 out of 10 if it was a free game. Coming in at number 16, we have Home Planet and Hunters. It's actually an honorable mention in our little pixel list today, which is coming our way after more than 2 years of wait and 5 straight years of development. This game is basically a squad-based 3-player tactical RPG, somewhere a modern classic RPG and an old-school Super Nintendo nostalgia. So whether you grew up playing games such as the Fire Emblem and Final Fantasy game, you're gonna love what this game has to offer. It's online though and has gacha elements. I'm pretty sure at least some of you have already tried Ash of Gods Redemption, but still for those of you who haven't caught up with this reveal, this is actually the second work of its developers and the follow-up to Ash of Gods Tactics, which was also one of the worthiest of competitors to Banner Saga. Redemption here, however, is a story-driven and turn-based role-playing game and a roguelike. It's not a pixel art, obviously, I do apologize for that. It does play offline, however, and is available on Android only, set to be coming on iOS soon. Really good game. Moving on to number 18, we have Duck Life 9. It's the same story here. Not a pixel art game, this is actually a series of casual platform games that really do deserve a lot of recommendation. Duck Life series started life years ago and now it's so dramatically changing quality and scale you won't even recognize even if you were an old player. First of all, it's a free game to play but a paid full game. Duck 9 is actually a mix of action adventures and a life sim game, all set in a beautifully designed mix of 2D characters and a 3D depth. It even plays offline and it's on both stores. Downloaded over 30,000 times in less than a day. Number 19, we have Island Defense. It's a tower defense game indeed, but it's definitely more than just that. So, I don't know. If you had the chance to play the famous strategy mobile game, Bad North, you're gonna feel right at home as soon as you have a round of this game too. It's fresh, very simple and very challenging at the same time. Unfortunately, it's only available on Android until further notice. If you have had a blast playing Vampire Survivors, really famous game, you might be in for a treat. See, Wanted Shadows Pocket Edition just made it over to the West on the Apple Store and is now available in pre-register with a full release in about 2 days on Android too. This game is a bullet hell roguelike survival shooter with a pretty unique style of its own and a heck of a lot of fast action. It's a free game too, about 1 GB in total, plays both online and offline. Number 21, we have Waven, which actually brings a fresh twist to the old tactical RPGs with its super vibrant world and its strategy combat. Also a fresh addition to our just pixel design list. Your actions in this game consist of you building a team of heroes with each having a unique ability and tackle quite a bit of challenging missions, offering some deep customization and engaging gameplay. Waven is available online and takes you about 600 megabytes of space. Number 22, we have Luna, the Shadow Dust, not a pixel art. It's a puzzle adventure game that lets you solve puzzles whilst exploring a pretty classical but yet beautifully hand-drawn environment. Jesus. It's not a pixel art game whatsoever, but a drawing art style classic with an atmospheric soundtrack and an engaging gameplay too. Luna in its entirety offers a magical adventure every step of the way. Unfortunately, it's a paid game, 20 on PCs, 10 on Android and iOS. Yeah, alright. Last but not least, we have Delusion, which is a tactical idle RPG pixel art classic. That's the sound they make while they're eating, by the way. Anyway, and since it is a pixel art list, we'd like to finish the video with this last one. It does contain more than 80 heroes to collect. You're gonna need some strategic decisions in which heroes to send into each battle and make sure to choose a proper captain for the team. Yeah, this game actually doesn't have a contagious pace. Like the further you go into the game, it does get harder and the rewards get higher too. 10 out of 10 gem. This is a free game.